Hey everybody, I'm Sam. I'm here with Scott today. We did a battle report for the Retribution Army versus the Skorne Empire. Today's game, we played Invasion. We had a table with the terrain. You had a cloud in the center. There was some water feature on one of the circle zones. There was a couple hills on one side of the plain area, and then on the other side of the table we had a trench and ruins to just kind of help break things up. So
yeah, the only really mentionable piece about the terrain is that the house on the bottom part of the screen has this tiny little sliver where you can actually set a model to contest where you're still behind the house.
I ended up winning the role to go first. My pair today was Sylys and Vyros 2, and I decided to drop Vyros because Scott he has a pair of
Rasheth and Zaadesh 2. We actually played the Sylys Zaadesh match last week, and being able to control the Sentinels with clouds is actually...
It hurt.
Yeah, it hurt.
It hurt a lot.
So
turns out that matchup's not so great. And this is the video of the Vyros matchup versus the Zaadesh 2. So I did win the roll-off to go first. I chose to go first on this one. Looking at the table, had a kind of cloud in the center that Vyros loves to see that kind of stuff. Around here, when we do our center terrain piece, we tend to roll. We lay out a number of different pieces, so we just happened to roll into a cloud, which was great for Vyros. So I ended up choosing to go first. Scott, you got to choose the side.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, I chose the side with the house with the annoying little sliver to stand behind the house and contest the at the same time,
right.
Which is what the Swamp Gobbers will be doing all game.
Yeah, it kind of hurt. So when I went into my deployment, I was kind of looking at this as like I need to pretty much... I don't have a lot of models in this list. I am running Vyros 2, Helios, an Imperatus, 3 Griffons, a Manticore, and then some support models. So I really need to use every piece that I have, and it is just one of those that I can pull him around. Inviolable Resolve is a hell of a spell, though. Makes that really obnoxious. So it was just one of those, I kind of figured I needed to keep my army safe and try to just jockey as much for position and hope I don't get killed, because as much as I do out-threat you, I have trouble pulling you in and getting onto your models with the Inviolable Resolve, and then the turtles you can't do anything about. So that was kind of a problem there.
All right, yeah, so my deployments, right into that. Yeah, like Sam was saying, the Inviolable Resolve is really important. It keeps one of the Aradus from getting pulled to his death, and turtles, of course, can't be pushed, so I'm trying... Oh, you will see me in my turn just try to position in a way to keep my models from getting dragged in, which when you have a heavy that can't be pulled and then 2 huge bases, then it wasn't too difficult.
Easier. Yeah. So on my turn 1, I'm basically just trying to run up and get into position for later turns. You'll saw I was trying to measure to make sure I stayed outside of range of the Aradus. The Griffons out-threat them, but they don't really threaten them unless they have max synergy.
Yeah, max synergy will change things, but...
So, yeah, I really gotta, I was trying to basically threaten his position to move in on me while staying outside and kind of keeping myself out of the ability of being, charged. You'll also see I pretty much tried to position the Griffons into areas where turtle, they'd have cover or concealment or things like that to just make the turtle shooting a little bit harder. Vyros 2's got decel up, but it still is... Turtles hurt a lot, and so that, he just... Not something I want to deal with. The heavies, can't really hide those and keep them in a position, so I just try to put them next to my objective, which was the healing one, in the hopes that if something did get crippled, I can fix it and just not lose a jack on that. So that was my turn.
Alright, so going to Skorne, turn 1. It's more positioning on this turn from my side of the table, where I just try not to give him too much, and actually try to bait in a little bit of the Griffons. You'll see how it plays turtles, and charge range and see if he will engage, and we can start
you got
taking down the Griffins, so this energy chain becomes harder to spin up.
Right.
But
especially with such a lack of models, it's rough. Yeah. Those Swamp Gobbers positioning nicely to be just never going to remove them. I kind of, once I saw that, I pretty much gave up on that flank for scoring purposes.
Yeah, so Zaadesh, I just moved him up out of sight of charge range of anything, because like that cloud is effectively not there because it's Vyros, and didn't want to give Imperatus sidestep targets. So that's another thing I'll be doing with my positioning on this turn, so that Aradus is outside of 11 of Imperatus. And I mean, he's in 11 of the objective, but he can't charge it because this will be turn 2 or top of 2. So here the turtle coming up actually rolled 4 shots, and I'm going to put him into the Manticore, and yeah, spiked some rolls there. It's just going to blink him, but it actually got through the shield.
Yeah, you saw on my tablet there, it did not. Yeah. It was not expected, and it hurt a lot more than I was really expecting to happen, but that's why it was next to that objective to hopefully.
That was good. Unexpected. That was nice. So the spells that went up in my turn, I put up counter charge, or what's it called?
Battle charged.
Battle charged, yeah. So the whole battle group has counter charge. Also, Inviolable went up on the Aradus that is not fully painted to stop the pool there or the drag from Helios. The Aradus is within 3 inches of Zaadesh, so if you shoot Zaadesh, you can sack pawn over to the Aradus, can't be pulled. Additionally, I put up Force Aura from Zaadesh so that everybody gets +2 defense and armor versus that gun.
I mean, the def 10 to def 12 doesn't seem much, but it does.
Well, the
matter.
Aradus are 11, so like 13.
It hurts. At a wrap 5, Helios
it's enough to make you boost, and then you don't have as many pawn attacks. The other turtle actually just kind of goes up and rolls 4 shots. This never happens for me. I never get 4 shots on both turtles in a turn, and it's on like the turn where it just doesn't matter. Like I'm just plinking things,
just spreading the damage around. Something I did forget was that my Manticore, I could have shield guarded to Imperatus. And with the Phoenix Protocol, that would have actually really made things a lot easier.
We both forgot about Shield Guard the entire game.
Yep. I don't think I did it once.
No.
Not a single time.
It gave me hope that I could kill Helios. But we'll see that later.
Yeah, so that wasn't the best here.
So yeah, positioning just outside of 11 on everything. So the Griffins can get fleet and charge most things, but I don't really expect them to do that much damage. The Agonizer on the bottom part of the screen has screen for -2 strength, so those Griffins, if they come in, aren't just really not going to do much. So
so we go into turn 2 here. Scoring is going to start happening on Scott's turn, so I know I need to basically try to contest as much as possible to not force myself into having to engage to then, because of this potential scenario loss, but it was just one of those. I was not expecting how much damage being put down on the Manticore. That kind of surprised me. And then the way he positioned all of his models, I just couldn't see any way that I could grab something and kill it with pull it in to where I could throw out a jack to kill it with the Helios. So
yeah, you could probably get Helios. Could have gotten Helios on the bottom Aradus, but if you do that, you're in charge range of like the entire battle group. Yeah. So there's really nothing of value to pull at this point.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in the tank on this one trying to puzzle it, which was actually a really bad idea because I ended up deciding that it was just not the right time to engage and ended up just kind of shifting around here. So you'll see me starting to measure out. I'm trying to figure out if Vyros can throw out a lock the target. In this list, I'm running Sylys instead of Lanissa, and literally the only reason is because I forgot her today. So I decided, all right, well, I've got Sylys, I might as well use him for more than just the free focus. And so I thought, all right, Arcane Secret, throw a locked target out. Trampling turtles are a hell of a thing, and I didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah, so just coming right through that cloud. The thing is, though, I have Midwinter in this list. And you can't see him because it looks like he's behind the turtle.
He's behind the turtle closest.
But he's in range of the Gladiator, Zaadesh, and the bottom turtle.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing you can lock the target on is the bottom Aradus, which is eventually what you go for.
Right, and just like I said, spending just all this time in the tank trying to sort it out. I mean, realistically, I shouldn't even be casting 1, but I was trying to figure out how to get 2, and it just was a lot of wasted time that wasn't super necessary. I had to position the Griffon even a little wonky to make it so that he doesn't, he's not blocking Vyros, because I want him to be able to reposition into the trench afterwards. So just a significant amount of time lost doing this, and once I started rolling the dice on it, it didn't pan out. So had to put Sylys in, make sure Sylys was in range. Also, we love just pushing everyone's models.
Yeah, you can see a lot of that in this video.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, it's a game of precision, but there's also a game of like, you know, we're understanding what we're attempting to do here. And most of the movements
measure your threat range before you start doing everything, so you know that it's going to work. Like we bump a lot of things, but it ultimately doesn't matter because we knew the measurements beforehand, or we were close enough that.
Yeah, or you had so much additional movement extra that it was like okay, that extra little smidge isn't going to matter.
Yeah,
so
nothing
much.
was tight enough for it to affect anything.
Yeah. So I ended up trying to go for it on the Aradus. I was about to do it on the Turtle, and Scott reminded me that Orin's there, and I was like, well...
It's like, if you just want that spell canceled, go right ahead.
Yeah, all that time was wasted. Because I also knew I still need to put decel up, because the Turtles are... At this point, I knew my plan was not to engage, so the Turtles were going to get another turn of shooting, and I just can't have that without having decel up. It's just not going to work. So I tried to go for it, don't even break the armor, bunch of wasted time.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I basically spend the rest of the turn. I do end up deciding defeat. That was a really kind of hard decision on this one, because I was, you know, Vyros' 2 feet's weird. You know, most people tend to think he just doesn't have one, and I don't disagree with that statement, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that, and it's like...
No, it's a strong feat. it's good.
It is. It is because I don't think you're going to get a lot of use out of it, but it makes your opponent have to like think about, okay, what am I actually going to kill to let him trigger this and start moving around? Especially in a list like this, where I only have like 6 models, so I actually don't want to lose anything.
Right. Yeah, the difficulty with this one is, you're right, you don't have enough models to proc his feat. Right. So all I can really do is do obnoxious little things where Griffon sits outside of a zone, I go into the zone and I kill another Griffon, and all suddenly it's in the zone. So it's just... yeah, maybe it doesn't come up in this game, really.
Not particularly. But I do end up deciding defeat, because I figured, you know, at this point it'd be almost a little bit of a deterrent to just killing a bunch of the Griffins. I might be able to start moving stuff around. I mean, I positioned pretty much all my stuff outside of charge range of the beasts. By the time our lines are close enough, there's no way I'm outside of the Turtles' range. I just can't. I didn't check it, and I should have been. I should have been a little bit smarter about that, because that ended up being a bit of a mistake for me.
Yeah.
But I did make sure that the beasts themselves weren't going to be getting in, which was pretty critical. So just kind of shuffled some stuff around at this point and moved on to the turn. Just kind of, doing a lot of maneuvering around, trying to repair the shields. The shields actually, I think, made a big deal. Pretty much, you'll see, I'm pretty much every chance I get, I'm trying to repair the shields, trying to repair damage on my jacks, because the list just... There's not enough to let all of that damage just stack up. So I'm trying to just, every chance I get, heal something, repair the shields, do something, which is pretty nice, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty obnoxious when you're dice spike and you're shooting, and then just like it doesn't matter because he's healing at every turn.
It's just all gone. So, yeah, I made sure Helios was outside of range. This is one of those I checked for the Aradus. I didn't check for the Turtles, which actually... kind of mattered here in a minute.
It's actually, I think it's a smart play, because it makes me like really want to go for it.
I didn't even think about it at all. So.
And then we do the math later. It's like it's not good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you'll see how this matters. But I should be wrapping this up here pretty quick once I spend all this time. Zaadesh is
placing everything out of 10. That's sweet. Sweet 10-inch threat.
Yeah, Zaadesh is just such a monster when it comes to thinking about stuff, because of counter charge, he feeds defensive strike, he's got shooting. It's just
it eats up clock. That's for sure.
It's brutal.
So here we go. Me measuring, can I get onto the Manticore within 2? So bump the crap out of that Griffin, but who cares?
Yeah, it was the Griffin, or it was the Manticore
that mattered.
Yeah, the Griffin was well within range, so it wasn't that big a deal.
So, and after doing those measurements, I see that okay, I can't get into the Griffin or into the Manticore, but I can get both turtles on Helios. So, like, okay, well, maybe I can take him down. I don't do the math, and this is part of my problem, is I didn't do the math on it. It's like, sure, under Zaadesh's feet, he should be able to punch through it.
Because his feet gives...
+2 mat, +2 strength, and a defensive strike. So the turtles are going to come in at mat 8 POW 20.
Which I had Distortion Field up to make Helios a defense 12, which is not insignificant, but your feat just kind of still makes it, removes that benefit.
Yeah. So here we go. Me executing this plan here. First off is whip the turtles. So I only have min Paingivers in this list, and so the math puts me at 50-ish damage onto Helios with both turtles because I can only whip them each twice. If I can whip them 3 times, then it's a dead Helios. But I can't.
So why did you do the min handlers?
Just points, how things fit.
Yeah. Because I assume Orin took up a lot of that, what could have been in there.
Yeah, Orin. The Swamp Gobbers are necessary to build the Cloud Wall because you can only put up 2 clouds a turn. You really need 3 to make it work.
Make it legit.
Yeah.
So at that point, the thing that you have to cut are the beast handlers, max to min.
Yeah, I have actually a point to spare on this, and the really only flexibility is Midwinter, whether he is in it or not. If he's not in it, then I can change it to something else. If I change the beast points around at all, then I lose my free beast, so that's why I don't want to do that. Alright, so Turtle goes in, Zaadesh feeded, he put up, he upkept Battle Charge, and I put Inviolable Resolve on the Turtle that just went in. He also put up Force Aura to just give him that extra bit of defense and armor from the shooting that's available to Sam. So I go in, I crank the damage on the charge, which was nice. And gunshots, so we forgot about Shield Guard again.
Yeah.
So I've dumped all 4 shots into the Manticore.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, oh, well, I did a lot of damage, maybe I can get work out of this. Instead of thinking like, no, I need to be putting every shot into Helios because I don't quite have, the math isn't on my side. And I need to be trying to get every little extra point in there. I didn't do that, so I dropped all 4 shots into the Manticore, so I rolled 4 shots again. And I did enough to get through the shield, which is something,
yeah.
but it ends up not mattering. So yeah, as you can see on Sam's tablet there, we get almost an entire side down.
Yeah, the shield's end almost half the side. Yeah, it was a good roll. It hurt.
Surprising. So the thing is, I missed. I rolled dub once on one of the bot tail attacks, but I cranked the charge roll so hard that it just averaged out.
Yeah.
If I had got that, if I didn't miss that the bot attack, then I probably would have been a dead Helios.
Yeah.
We got him pretty low. So this turtle comes in, and I actually don't do stupid things with the gunshots. Yeah, I actually shoot Helios.
But I think you did miss a couple shots because I did have the distortion field up, so the defense 14.
And it's dice off 6. Wait, no. Yeah, you have D-cell up, so it's a 15. Yeah, it's off 6.
Yeah.
So it's not really expected to do much.
I think you put like a point or 2 on with it, which something. But you get real close here, but you do end up leaving him alive.
Yeah, very much alive. Turtle is positioned to straddle the distance between both of the zones.
And you feeded this turn, right?
And it's feeded, so I'm hoping that'll make it... During this turn, I was hoping that it would make it difficult for him to get the important pieces onto them, like get Imperatus or the Manticore under full synergy onto a turtle. Because I'll just D-strike and knock them down.
Yeah, because the great trick with that is that you have a tail that just knocks down whatever it is, and I have no way to stop that right now.
Fun for all. So the problem is that I was positioned in such a way that most things are already engaged, so I don't get to trigger D-strike on anything except for Imperatus and the Manticore. The Aradus kind of shuffle around trying to make getting on the turtle, if you want to charge it, like just one more thing that can keep you from killing it. So to me, it's just about damage control for the turtle. The turtle, see if I can give one to live. And if one lives through this, then I'm in a good spot. If not, then I'll be hurting in the attrition game.
Yeah, so you'll see me start doing some of the healing here. The objective was bringing back the crippled part of the Helios. I kind of felt like I was playing a Hordes list that it was like, I don't care about crippled stuff, I'll just heal it all back here. But now I'm kind of in a position here. I got Helios alive, which was, I feel like, lucky. I mean, yeah, the dice don't quite work out, but you still had plenty of stuff and shooting. It's like,
right, and if I was better about whipping, like I didn't move up that far in turn 1, I could have whipped the turtles and then healed him with the objector, because I also brought the healing objectors. There's really no reason for me to not have 3 on the turtles.
Right. And that
given my
pretty much
position, because I wasn't putting them far enough forward for they were in danger of dying, and yeah, it was just a slight misplay on my part, because I'm used to running full tilt with the turtles in that turn 1, and then having the Paingivers whip them in the following turn. But I didn't do that, and I didn't switch gears.
So yeah, so I spent a little bit of time here in the tank, because as I'm looking at it, Helios is engaged with both turtles, which is good, because he's going to be the primary damage dealer of it. But I still need to get some chip damage on him, and I still need to build the synergy train. And if I send my Manticore or Imperatus in there, they'll just get knocked down on the defensive strike, and then nothing good comes from that, and I just have a knockdown model, which I can't have in this. So I spent a lot of time looking at it. What ends up happening is I have Helios is engaged with both, and I have a Griffon engaged with each one individually. So after spending a ton of time in the tank, I decided that, all right, I'm just going to try to make it work with what I've got there. And I was debating sending Vyros in as well, but the same thing there. He just gets knocked down. And then
that would be good times.
Yeah.
Good times for turtles.
So I end up deciding not to. Right now I'm kind of trying to figure out how to allocate all my focus. I have a lot to hand out, but I still got to figure out like how I'm going to go about like giving this. I can't give out every bit that I have, and I need that concentrated power to kind of get that spike on the damage. So I spent a lot of time working this out, and eventually decide that there's also an Agonizer.
Yeah, the important note about this is the bottom Agonizer is in 8 inches of Helios, so he's going to want to take that guy out first before he.
Which there's no way I'm going to get him in melee.
Yeah, this is really hard to get him in melee. The top Agonizer, I ran a Scream as well, but it didn't get in range.
Wasn't quite close enough to Helios. So I
should have rushed him. I had the option to rush him, I just didn't.
Yeah. So I'm also trying to figure out how Vyros, of course, can see through, his battle group can pretty much see through all models, friendly or enemy. So I'm not worried about that as far as shooting, but I still got to figure out the damage. So I was trying to sort out the thing with Vyros. I ended up deciding that the best play is probably to have Vyros try to shoot it and then not try to use the Manticore on you and see if I can sucker out a defensive strike. Because at the same time, the shields on the Manticore I had healed a little bit, but they're still small enough that a big hit and I could lose something. You know, I could get an arm crippled. He crippled the cortex, all my focus goes away. Like it just is something that I had to consider. Helios was in the same boat. I fixed him up, he was fine, but he was in a position that one bad hit and suddenly I don't have a piece that I desperately need to make all this work. So right now I'm checking to see, I want Vyros to be able to shoot and keep all of his stuff in synergy, because there's a Griffon on the other side of the Helios there that actually was very close, and I needed that Griffon to start the synergy chain, and you have to stay within 12. So it's just kind of this balancing act, trying to get all these measurements in place before I decide what to do, because I'm looking at it as I have to kill both turtles and that Aradus, otherwise I'm in a world of trouble. I mean, I got lucky that Helios didn't die, so now I need to capitalize on it and pretty much take out as much as I can to not die the following turn after that. Because if any of those turtles are alive, I'm probably in a lot of trouble, because that's dead Helios, probably another Griffon, and things like that. So
what we saw there is he shot Vyros' gun and took the
Manticore.
Yeah, Vyros took it down to 4 boxes. That's the Agonizer, and then I hyper-aggressed it a little bit further forward just to be more obnoxious. Manticore finished it off pretty easily.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of hit points.
They're 12-13 with 13 boxes, and they're dice off 1 boosted attack roll, so it's a pretty easy kill.
So, yeah, I'm going through there. Now that I got all that removed, now it's just a matter of building up the synergy chain. And
you got one synergy. The Griffon that's behind all the big models on the top part of the screen has already punched the turtle to get synergy to 1. Right. Then Griffons do Griffon things.
Mm-hmm. So
I go to the little bit of tank here trying to decide if it's worthwhile to try to punch this Griffon, and I decide no. Because it's
you want Imperatus.
I want Imperatus. I want to do all I can, because I don't have a way to stop Phoenix Protocol, so I want to do every bit of damage I can to him at any opportunity I can.
Sure. Because 54 boxes is a lot to eat through.
He's colossal.
Yeah. It's nutty. So the Griffon goes in. Not really expecting a whole lot from him. I know Imperatus by himself could finish that Aradus off if synergy's maxed out, so it's mainly just about getting that synergy in there and also to a certain extent, contesting the zone. Because at the moment, the Arcanist is the only thing in there for me. And I know he needs to move to go give concentrated power to one of my models, which means those Swamp Gobber Bellows are going to walk up and start scoring. And I just can't have that because I'm never going to remove them from behind that house. So,
yeah, that's another thing that really keeps me in this game longer than I should have been.
Yeah. So on this one, I had to check to make sure Imperatus could charge around and not hit the forest because I didn't have the focus to put up Easy Rider.
Cranked it. Look at that. D-Strike crank boxcars on it.
Yeah, it was oh my god.
So I do drag him in here, but we don't move Imperatus because he's just going to sidestep right back into position.
Right. The Griffon had actually left you on, like, took out like half the boxes, which was...
It was a third.
A third? Yeah. So it took out about a third of the boxes, which was a little bit more than expected, but I was kind of, fingers crossed, I was hoping to kill the Aradus with the initial attacks with Imperatus so that he could sidestep away from the retaliation from the Titan and the Aradus, the other Aradus soldier. Because, of course, I had to plan to just keep not dying here. You know, if you get multiple models in with Skorne, I mean, they will kill multiple Red Jacks without too much trouble if he can get it.
Yeah,
on
Imperatus,
so.
That Death 13 becomes a bit obnoxious, but other than that, a Titan gets on a heavy and that heavy's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you see there he did kill it with his initials, so he's able to sidestep away, which puts him outside of threat of the Titan.
Which was pretty huge.
Yeah, that was important.
Yeah, at this point, the synergy chain is maxed out, so now it's just a matter of going to town on some turtles.
Punching some turtles at dice +6.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Every time I count it out, it just is so nice. I mean, Helios starts at a base 21, concentrated power up to 23, max synergy up to 26 is just it's pretty sweet.
You easily kill these turtles with max synergy in this activation. But the dice were also ridiculous, so it just kind of hurt that much more. Like when he's rolling 9s, and 9 dice +6, you're just like, okay, well, I was hoping you'd have to buy an attack.
So yeah, it went. I got the one turtle. That one I knew I had to kill because I had nothing else that could hit.
Casual 11.
Yeah.
Dice +6.
Yeah, no big deal. But I do leave that other turtle a little bit. But there is a Griffon standing right there, already in defensive strike range.
6 boxes left, and you have a fully fueled Griffon that's already in melee, so I can't defensive strike to save my life.
So the final thing I do with the Helios, the dual attack, I just want to make sure that now that I know this plan is going to work, I want to make sure that he can't come in and just counterattack and kill a bunch of stuff. So I'm shooting him, pushing his Aradus away, getting outside of that 10 inches, because then my threat range actually becomes really important now.
So another slight mistake there for me is like I put Inviolable on the turtle because I was hoping it was going to live. Though again, me not doing math, it doesn't live. Like you're hitting so hard that it was really irrelevant. And having Inviolable up on the Aradus would have been much more valuable because then you couldn't move it and it would have been in range to counter punch. But
so
these are things that I did not do.
Yeah. And it's the kind of stuff like haven't played this specific matchup, but we both played these individual lists several times. But it's just like things you just don't.
Yeah. So you go into autopilot, and with some of your lists you play a lot, and that's one of the things. It's like, oh, it's feet turn with a turtle. It gets inviolable and it goes in and just tries to stay there.
Right.
But that was the wrong play this time.
So. So I ended up passing the turn after this, feeling pretty good about
really good.
What happened.
The attrition is horrible for me.
Yeah.
Losing both turtles and an Aradus, and not able to do but one defensive strike and no counter charges. It's really bad. So I go into the tank thinking, how am I going to recover from this? I'm measuring some things here, see if Orin can get an Arc Lightning to remove that Arcanist and just remove any models I can, just cause some damage.
Right.
I end up deciding to go, or abandoning that idea about getting that zone, because it's like, oh yeah, there's no way I'm removing that stuff. So on the top zone, I can get the Agonizers and walk within 7 inches of the Griffon that's contesting the zone, so we get repulsed out.
Which is
walks up and repulsed.
Who does a repulse on an Agonizer?
Yeah, people forget its Animus is not the scream.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy. It's stuff you don't think about, but you never know. It'll just suddenly become super relevant in a game.
Right. So Outfit Battle Charge Zaadesh is I'm gonna walk over there. He's gonna cap that zone, put up Inviolable back on this bug like it always should have been. And then put up the Krea Animus, +2/+2 for everything within 3 versus guns. And then we have the Raider. He's going to just aim and take a shot at Helios. So I'm just trying to bring that guy down. When you don't have shield guards, you actually give me hope.
When I forget about that.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
So I end up doing okay amount of damage to him. This was actually kind of surprising. Just dice off 6.
Yeah.
Wait,
I had the Griffon
5.
for sure, 2 of the Griffons, and a Manticore that could have shield guarded all that. And the Griffons at that point were basically untouched. So that was just bad play on my part.
So I'm doing whatever I can to just put damage on Helios, because if I can start collapsing one side, things will start going better for me in attrition. But
well, and at this point too, you have Inviolable Resolve, but you still have 2 heavies. So
right, but I'm out threatened, and
right, and only one of them can't be pushed at a time.
Right. So if I can get Helios off the board, then I can take out a bit of your assassination potential.
Sure.
So Midwinter goes up there and just tries to put a boosted damage roll to Helios. It does a couple points. It's not enough, but anything I can get. He didn't have a lot better to do. I also thought I was going to have a little bit of fun there, where he hits Helios and then it goes into the Arcanist and starts getting his support models. But the Arcanist is not base to base.
Totally planned it that way.
Yeah,
totally.
Really great play. He is base to base with the objective though, so it bounces harmlessly into the objective and then the heavy. I do boost on the objective just to see if I can get a couple points into it, but and I forget how that pans out. The bottom line is I don't actually end up ever attacking the objective, so it didn't matter.
So yeah, so now at this point, I'm feeling good about the attrition battle. Now it's like, okay, I was looking at some assassinations, but he's doing a pretty good job. You played against Vyros and Imperatus enough to know to stay away from...
You got to watch the sidestep, and you got to watch the pull from Helios' gun. Right.
You can do some really obnoxious, like setting things up, pull something into range to let Imperatus sidestep off of it to get to the caster, but generally the distance from Imperatus is always the thing that's going to keep you the most safe, and you do a really good job about that in this game. So I never really had a decent shot at an assassination.
So right now I take out the assassination potential with the drag because I have Sackpon War Beast who can't be pulled, and then you don't have the distance to sidestep off of anything and get to the Zaadesh.
Right.
So even though you do have sidestep targets, it's just not enough. The only thing you're going to do by trying to do that is proc a bunch of counter charges.
Yeah, which is not something I feel like I want to take at this point. I have the attrition. I don't want to give it back to him. Yeah. So I decide that, all right, it's time to start pushing the scenario victory. The zone down the bottom, something I'm never going to take without a lot of effort trying to dislodge those swamp gobbers. So I figure if I start working on the center zone, I can continue pressuring him and forcing him to step away while still scoring. So spend another fair bit of time sorting this out. Zaadesh is just one of those obnoxious casters where everything you do as far as a move, if you don't keep in mind that you might get countercharged or plan accordingly from it, you will suddenly get bit. And we tend to, in these games, be a little bit nicer about that. It's
like, hey, you really want to proc countercharge right now?
Right.
Yeah.
But in a tournament, you're definitely not going to get that, your opponent giving you that. Or at least they don't have to. They have no right, or they have no rule that they have to do that.
So it's not required, but...
Right. So we try to remember as best we can to, to make sure the games stay, entertaining. We'll sometimes... remind someone if a rule is going to suddenly kill their entire game.
I hate winning on gotchas.
Right.
Playing Grimkin.
Or in a tournament, and that's still great.
All right. Dragging the...
What Helios is in the list to do? Grab a heavy, pull him in, punch him to death. It's just...
You actually end up missing one because that sweet Def 12 under the Krea.
This one I did... No, I think I hit all these because I need all three to get you in.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it was kind of a struggle because I threw one out randomly to see if it hit. It did. I was needing the 7s to get you.
Yeah, I needed 7
and I got it. The second shot I decided to boost because if I had pulled you all 3 and I was actually able to get you onto Helios to start punching. I had synergy up to 2 at this point, so I'm gonna do some damage to the Titan.
You can't see the Agonizer that is also in melee, I think.
Oh, he died on the first
one. Yeah, you already punched it off. Okay.
Yeah, dice plus, what did we decide? It was dice plus like 9?
Yeah, something like that. It had already taken a good hit, so it's like it was...
There was nothing to say.
We didn't even roll it, I don't think.
Yeah, he just pulled it. I mean, at that point, it didn't
Yeah, it's arm 13, with no scream. 2 synergy, and I believe you also concentrated power.
Yeah.
So you're up to 24?
Yeah, so it hurt him. And then I made sure
11.
to end with, always putting Distortion Field up. I've been bit more times than I can count. Not putting the Distortion Field up, someone gets in on Helios, and then suddenly that +2 defense actually would have mattered.
Yeah,
and Poltergeist.
Needing to hit 6s on your heavies is just not a place you want to be. I hate rolling for 6s because you need every attack to land.
Sure. Yeah, it makes it tough. So at this point, it's just a matter of going in, scoring, doing some stuff. I roll in with Imperatus, kill Orin, kill the objective. I move up to a Krea. You choose not to countercharge with the Raider.
Yeah, because he's got 3 focus on him after that sidestep, and I don't want to lose 2-piece when I can just lose
it was
1.
a smart call. I mean, I tried to,
I thought about it.
I tried table talking you into it.
No.
You didn't fall for it, so I was only able to kill the Krea. I did end up, I think I had like 3 focus left over too, and so I was just randomly boosting on the Krea, and I healed the shield up a little bit more because he had taken that massive hit from the Aradus, which was obnoxious. Now, I do make another a mistake here. The Manticore I chose to, if this game was going to keep rolling, I chose to run him out to the zone to maybe start dealing with the Swamp Gobbers. He's got a gun. Covering fire was something I was considering because I could place it on that small little sliver and basically just
force them
deny
out
you,
from hiding.
Force you to move.
So at this turn, I'm in a really bad place in attrition, and I'm not going to win the scenario game. All I'm doing is just hanging in there in the bottom zone, and there's no way I'm clearing the center zone. Helios isn't in the top zone, so I can still score that, but it's just not going to be enough because I'm not going to get the objective, and I'm not going to get ahead that way. What I do see, though, is that Sam has 4 minutes on his clock.
Yeah.
And
I was doing a
near,
poor
near
job
30.
managing that.
So I'm like, all right, new win condition here is to just not die for the next 4 minutes of his turn.
Yeah.
So I do what I can to remove pieces that can throw meaningful attacks. Next turn, so the Aradus is going to go in on Helios and try to finish him off. Even without rush, he's in bite range with range of 7. And he's also going to be, as the proxy base there is showing, he's also going to be in range of the Griffon that you can't see behind Helios, so he can drag him in and hopefully pull off both of those models and then score that zone again.
Because at this point you were down 2-1.
It's 2-1. I just don't want to give you that scenario out when I'm trying to clock you.
Right.
So yeah, we go over there, we enrage the Aradus. It free charges up there, butt charge, because it's Skorne and we can't actually place our models next to anybody else's models. Do some sweet that damage roll, 664.
Oh yeah,
on the charge
attack. Didn't even need a box.
Kills him to the box.
Yeah, I had 17 boxes at that point, so it was a nice hit.
It was great. And then we drag in the light, 2 initials from the claw, and then we're doing 3 bites here.
Just took him out.
I managed to not miss an attack, which was great. As much as I complain about 6s, the dice favored me today.
On this roll, there were a few bad ones earlier on.
Mostly my dice were pretty hot. Yeah, I feel like in this game.
So you were able to clear the zone. So at this point, you're going to score.
Finally got Helios off the board. I got that Griffon out of there. So there's only 1 Griffon up there that can really attack the Aradus that's there. I put the Raider. He charges into Imperatus just to do some damage and mainly to body block. Because I'm not confident that he can remove the Cyclops without activating Imperatus. So that's going to keep him from getting over to my caster. He ran up behind the Aradus.
Right. Because at this point you
will if I have not yet. No, he hasn't done that yet.
So, because at this point you had mentioned that you're just going to try to clock me. So now I'm sitting there like, oh, crap. You know, I mean, yeah, you're revealing your plans to the enemy, but at the same time, it's kind of the right.
It was pretty obvious.
We had been talking about the attrition was not in his favor. Scenario victory, like I was honestly looking at a turn 7 here, if you're just going to keep running, or a scenario out until you mentioned the clock, and then I just kind of was like, oh, well, this isn't good. So now suddenly that Manticore being way out of position now is coming back to bite me, because if he'd been a little bit closer where once Helios dead, now suddenly I have a perfect charge range into the Aradus, I can suddenly put 2 heavies in a position where Zaadesh can't really deal with both. Yep. Then one kills the other. But that I did not plan on. And so now I'm sitting here, okay, how do I get this to turn 7 while being ahead on scenario? and also not dying, because I tend to, if I'm not careful with Vyros, the Aradus or even Zaadesh will still just kill him. He's
yeah,
really
the
tanky.
threat range is really low in this list.
Sure.
Especially now that the Gladiator is dead. It's a threat range of 8. It's sad.
It's bad, but I mean, it'd just be the kind of thing, you know,
Well, that'd
putting
be
your
great.
caster just right there on
giving you
accident.
that out
Yeah.
would have been excellent, but you didn't do that.
So no, I decided I'm going to keep trying to clear this square zone or the rectangular zone and keep trying to score and just pretty much do it as fast as I possibly can in the hopes that I can push the game to turn 7 while staying ahead.
Right, and if that being your goal, I think that a slight misplay here was just throwing these attacks at the Aradus. You just really needed a body block and then put down the template in the bottom zone, and then clear the center. And that might have actually been able to get you that scenario.
So with the Manticore, you have to put the template in sight. So I still had to make it around the corner. So I put the point was to put the Manticore where it's positioned so that I drop the covering fire template to where your guy either stays there and takes the hit from the covering fire template or walks away and takes a free strike. So walking around me is not such a great option. You're most likely going to die.
That's good, okay.
I didn't have the time to do that because my clock
so he's
was
down to 17 seconds, and then I have 20 minutes to figure out how to position myself to not die in 17 seconds.
Yeah. Which we were tied on scenario at this point.
He's not going to scenario out in this amount of time. Because you effectively have 2 turns since you have to take a minimum of 15 seconds.
And to avoid getting countercharged by Zaadesh, I couldn't put a Griffon in the zone. Sorry, no, I did get it into the zone, but I got it into the zone in front of an Aradus, which is a dead Griffon. I mean, you have 20 minutes to kill it. Like I think you can do it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't great. The riding was pretty much on the wall there.
Yeah, and I don't trust 6s, so eventually I'll decide. I'm going back and forth in my head here whether or not I should move Zaadesh just to the opposite side of the zone so you can't kill me. I opt to go for a little bit riskier play where Zaadesh is going to go up and utilize his flank with War Beasts to put some damage in on the Griffon before the Aradus has to activate. Do a little bit. I think I get just through the shield. And
something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I can afford to miss an attack or 2 now.
Right. I mean, you put Paingivers in front of Imperatus. I was looking at potentially like a trample option and trying to do that. 17 seconds, it just...
Paingivers just went up. There's 2 in front of Imperatus, 1 in front of the Griffon, and then I was going to put 1 like somewhere between the rectangular and circular zone, and then I realized, oh crap, that's just a sidestep target. So I ended up deciding to just put him somewhere where it really didn't matter.
Right. And then Vyros is actually being blocked by Arcanists, which normally isn't a big issue, but I had 17 seconds to move 4 models and then get charging, so it ended up not going great. I clocked there, and I lost the game. So, yeah, it ended up being a Skorne victory. So how do you feel overall that, about the matchup, about this?
So the matchup, if we actually remember Shield Guard, so it's going to be a lot worse for me because it just is going to get everything, all those little plink shots are going to go into the shield, and then you're going to have the ability to heal them, the D3 plus 1 or whatever it is for the shield.
Right.
You spend the focus to do that on the Shyeel Jacks. So that would have been pretty irrelevant. But if I were to do it again, I would have had 3 tokens on the turtles, and then that would have been a dead Helios. If we did get in that position again, I probably would have focused, because it's a low model count Vyros list, I can focus on the Griffons during the feat turn, because if I can remove them, you have to start the synergy chain with things
that
matter, and you will also I'll be able to take advantage of defensive strike.
Right.
So then it'll become a much better attrition game for me because you're not going to have synergy as high, and there's probably going to be a knockdown heavy if you even decide to go for it.
Right.
Like you pretty much have to just send in the Colossal and just try to wreck a turtle with, or hopefully not both, just with your Colossal activation. It's the only thing that can risk the defensive strikes.
Sure. Against certain things. Now, like you said, I feel like we play this game again in the current state, and it's probably not going to go as well for me, as you won't fall into the same traps as we did.
Right. I'm not sure I'd drop Zaadesh again.
Right, because you had Rochelle.
I have to play really, I have to play smart and not give away those little, give away the turtles like I did. I don't know if Rochelle is better, but it certainly can make you play a bit more reserved with Vyros because I can always just try to feed and go for the assassination.
Yeah.
We'll probably see that next time. Well, who knows?
Yeah, no, it's still a good game. So thank you very much for playing, Scott.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.